Yo, what's good, people? It's your boy Greed coming at y'all with another video, and I'm actually gonna be talking about some Marvel Spider-Man 2. As y'all can see, y'all, this is gonna be like my little review on the game. I've already recorded this video twice now because I get so caught up in talking about one thing, I forget to talk about other things. But that will not happen this time. Let me go ahead and say this now. I will be talking about some spoilers. I will also say this: I am a very big Spider-Man fan, so a lot of my opinions will be biased, but I am not oblivious to the faults that this game also has. I will be mentioning that as well. I'm gonna split it up in like little different topics. So yeah, like I said, if y'all want to avoid spoilers, I highly recommend y'all leave the video. But without further ado, I'm going to let the intro play and we're going right into it. Alright, y'all, so first thing I wanted to talk about with this game was the story. I'm just gonna go off and say this. I'm not gonna go in depth because that was my problem with my previous videos. I kind of went in depth with the story, like start to finish. I'm just gonna name like little sections off. Okay, opening mission. Opening. Awesome. We see Harry at the title screen. He's tweaking because Venom's fucking with his head. Boom. Cut to the scene. We see Peter. Peter's Miles' teacher. Peter and Miles leave the school because Sandman fucking up. Then we gotta fight Sandman. That's a crazy boss battle. That's probably one of the biggest boss battles ever in an opening. Crazy, absolutely amazing. I loved it. Probably the best opening I've ever played in the Spider-Man game ever, in any game. Oh, let me also say this. Spider-Man games are my favorite games up until the next one comes out. Just gonna put it like that. Except for the Amazing Spider-Man series 1 and 2. Those games were kind of butt cheeks, but I played them so much because they were the most recent Spider-Man game I had at the moment. So I could only replay those as much as I wanted to, or as much as I could until the 2018 Spider-Man PS4 came out. I'm glad I got that out. Now, oh well, before Spider-Man 2018 though, it was Web of Shadows. So from Web of Shadows all the way up until Spider-Man 2018, you know. But I did like Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time. Those were really good games, but they were not better than Web of Shadows in my personal opinion. Web of Shadows is very high up there on the list. If I ever made a Spider-Man tier list, that game would be it would be top 5. Let me put it like that. I can't really give y'all like a you know, an exact number, but it would be top 5, and it might be 4. Okay. Opening act, story, boom, that's good. Now let me get to the middle of the story. Black suit. Let me talk about the black suit. I love the black suit. I love everything about it. I love how they handled it in this game. I love Bully Lowenthal. That's what we're gonna call it. We used to call it Bully McGuire. We're calling it Bully Lowenthal now because Yuri Lowenthal did his fucking thing. He acted his fucking socks off in this game, and I loved it. The aggression he gave, all of that in the symbiote, it was so, I can't even explain in words how great that shit was. But I love it. I love when Peter puts on the black suit because he becomes a menace, and we see every bit of that in this story, how he starts to change with Miles, with MJ, and even with Harry. So, but one of my biggest things looking at this story was how did Harry become evil? I will get into that soon. But before I get into that, I want to talk about Craven. Craven was amazing. He was so fucking cool. Probably one of the coolest villains. There's some more I'm gonna say about him too. See, a lot of the stuff I have to say about these characters pertain to Venom as well, but I'm gonna do a whole like Harry and Venom thing after I talk about Craven. Miles is gonna be the last character I talk about, only because he's the fucking GOAT. Let me just put it like that. Alright, so Craven, great ass villain. He really did a lot for this fucking story. Do I wish he was showing more? Yes. Yes, I do. But do I think the story was perfect the way it is? Yes, I do. Moving on. Venom. Harry/Venom. The only reason why Harry went off the rails in the first place was because he felt like Peter betrayed him, because there's a part in the story where Craven lands a very fatal blow to Peter. He stabs him and Peter essentially dies. But Harry puts the symbiote on Peter and it, it latches on to him. That's how Peter gets the black suit. But if y'all know, Harry needs the symbiote to stay alive because he's sick, and there's no normal cure for what he's sick from, like what he's going through. So, and the symbiote has been the best solution for him so far, so he needs the symbiote to just live life in general. But he gives it up for Peter because, Peter is his boy and he loves him. After they get past that part and Peter gets the black suit, this is where the fuckery comes around. Peter keeps the black suit for so long, he gets addicted to it. He doesn't want to give it back to Harry. He knows deep down he needs to give it back to Harry, but he doesn't want to. The symbiote's not allowing him to do that. Like, it's almost too late at this point. It's too late to the point to where Miles had to beat the symbiote off of him for him to take it off and try to take it back to Harry. By the time he tries to take it back to Harry, Harry is already pissed at Peter. He's pissed that Peter never gave the suit back when he didn't give it back sooner. He didn't try to give it back sooner because he was so addicted to the power that the symbiote gave him. And that shit was great. But that's why Harry goes off rails, becomes evil, because he felt like he was betrayed. He felt like everybody in his life was kind of just looking down on him. He hated it. He hated it. It also kind of reminded me of TASM 2 a little bit, when Harry was begging Peter for his blood to help him so he wouldn't die. And in this game, Harry's like, Peter, like, I need that suit, bro. Like, I'm dying. Like, you need to help me type shit. And Peter just kind of ignoring him. He been ignoring him about the suit, about everything, because he just fell so in love with the symbiote, he didn't want to take it off. It was pretty sad, but hey, that's what the symbiote do to people. I ain't gonna lie. That's basically the whole thing with Venom. But after Peter tries to bring back the symbiote after he takes it off, Venom or Harry, no, he tells Harry, like, look, we gotta destroy the symbiote. Me and Dr. Connor's been talking about it. We gotta destroy the symbiote because this motherfucker gonna have you tweaking. So it's too dangerous to keep around type shit. We gotta destroy it. Harry, like, you wanna destroy something that's gonna keep me alive? Like, nah, fuck you. He hit the shit out of Peter's hand. It fell out the little case it was in. Harry picked it up. He, like, Venom came back to him. He picked it up. And then, or the symbiote came back to him. He picked it up. And then he became the big, scary monster, Venom. And it was just crazy because right after this part, we don't play as Peter and fight him. No. They low-key tricked us with it, though, because it kind of looked in the scene. If y'all seen the scene, like, you know how, like, if y'all played the game, y'all know, like, they do, like, this little zoom-in thing first, right before a fight start. But then right before that happened, or right before they did the little zoom-in, Norman brushes in between, in between Venom and Spider-Man. So, like, the fight doesn't happen. Like, we don't end up playing as Peter. So then, like, he grabs Norman, throws him out the way. No. Peter pushes Norman out the way. Venom grabs Peter, chokes him, throws him through like a fucking door. He sent him flying. Peter was knocked out for a minute. So at this part, you thinking, like, who the fuck am I about to play as now since Peter knocked out Miles? Nope. You play as Venom. And man, Oh man, playing this Venom was so fucking satisfying. It was fun. It was great. Um, Obviously he wasn't like super deep or super in depth because you know it's just a little segment in the game where you play as him, but you also get to play as him. This is how Craven dies. You play as Venom and you kill Craven. That shit was raw. The fight between Venom and Craven is the most meathead, strong, big bodied, whatever type of, like, that shit was raw. It was just raw. It was just straight hands, all of that. It was just two tough motherfuckers. Like, yeah, we finna box. Like, really duke it out. Like, that shit was cool. And bro, it's that one part in the fight. This motherfucker Venom, you know how he be like his tongue long as hell and all that other shit, bro. Craven grabbed that motherfucker and cut it. He cut that bitch off. Venom grow that bitch back. I'm like, oh, y'all niggas is freaky, crazy, raw as hell. Craven was raw as hell, but I ain't gonna lie, him cutting off Venom tongue was cold. That shit was cold as hell. But y'all, that fight ends with Venom biting Craven's head off. He literally ate his head off, bro. He bit his head off. You know how crazy that is, bro? He legit bit that man's head off, bro. I was like, what? He bit off Craven's head and left his body there. That shit was so raw, G. That shit was so fucking raw. So after that, so that's the whole Venom Craven segment. That's probably the most I'm gonna talk. I ain't gonna lie, it's not gonna be Miles, it's them. But right before I get into Miles, I'm gonna talk about MJ and the Lizard. Well, there ain't really much I gotta say about them. MJ, she cool, obviously, right? Real cool. She becomes Scream, cause Venom, Harry turns her into Scream, which is crazy. That's a boss battle for Peter. You have to play as Peter and fight Scream. That shit was raw. Obviously, because she's in a symbiote, she's talking hella shit like, you can't keep a job, you don't pay the mortgage. You know, she just hurting them, hitting them where it hurt. You only care about yourself. It's always about you. It's never about the both of us. Right? You know, she was talking her shit, and I'm like, damn, Peter, I ain't gonna lie, gang, she kind of right. But hey, it is what it is. Like I said, that's still my boy at the end of the day. But yeah, the symbiote definitely had her tweaking, super tweaking. But yeah, she was talking her shit to Peter while they was fighting. That fight was cool. MJ missions are back in the game, y'all. If I'm being honest, not really a fan of MJ missions. I don't think anybody is, but they are better in this game. She has a sprint, and honestly, because of the sprint, I think I do them a lot quicker. But that's pretty cool. Lizard, Dr. Connors is just the Lizard. Craven did him filthy though. He turned him into the Lizard. I honestly, in my personal opinion, I thought Dr. Connors was just gonna he was just trying out the Lizard thing again, but we found out in this game that he has been the Lizard prior. Actually, no, I think we found in a previous game that Peter fought. That wasn't Peter's first time fighting the Lizard, but Craven forces him to be the Lizard again in this game, but it's not the same Lizard serum is different. He's like bigger, crazier, all of that. He's just not the regular lab coat Lizard. He's like a crazier big motherfucker now. So Craven did something to whatever his lizard serum was and turned him into a fucking monster. So that was pretty cool. What else? Oh, the symbiote got on Earth because of this meteor, this rock. But the rock had the little red spiral in it. If y'all know what the red spiral means, that means Null, the symbiote king Null, Knull. So I thought that shit was pretty cool. At the end of the game, Venom also has the King of Black Wings, which was like a really raw ass reference. What else? I think the last thing I want to talk about with the story. Oh, Miles. Let me just say this, y'all. Miles is the MVP throughout this entire game, but I like how they split it up because it's like the first part of the game, Miles was tweaking because of the Martin Lee stuff, and he slowly throughout the game trying to get over it, but the whole time it's still messing with him. And then the second half of the game, you got Peter tweaking because of the symbiote. He's slowly trying to get over it towards the end because, you know, he was tweaking. It's so cool, man. They both go through a lot in this game, but I will say Miles was the MVP in every situation because Peter was obviously tripping off the symbiote. He wasn't thinking straight, but Miles was picking up slack, putting in overtime. I wouldn't say picking up slack because Peter wasn't slacking. He was just, that's the problem. He was tweaking a little too much. He was crashing out. But Miles, he was picking up where Peter was kind of like, you know, fumbling that, and that shit was so fucking cool, bro, because Miles had his back at every fucking part, and that shit was raw like he should. Miles really clutched the fuck up in this game, and he if it weren't for him, a lot of shit would have went to shit. So Miles get his respect for showing this game, cause you know y'all don't like to respect my boy like he ain't a real spider hero, but he is a Spider-Man. He is Spider-Man. Peter even says he's Spider-Man. So yeah, go ahead and put some respect on my boy's name, cause he deserves it. Miles always deserved it. He is Spider-Man just like how Peter is Spider-Man. Peter respects him as a Spider-Man more than he respects himself as a Spider-Man. It hurt me to say that because I love Peter. I still like Peter more than Miles, but hey, it's the truth, because Miles earned his stripes. He earned them in his own game, but he earned them even more in this game. Miles went crazy, bro. I can't lie. I give the boy his props. Last thing I'm talking about with the story, y'all, is the final fight. The final fucking fight, y'all. Miles and Peter got the wailing on this nigga Venom. I'm talking. Now, first, it was low-key Peter. Bro, I'm streaming the whole thing. Bro, Peter wailing. He mean. Bro, whole time, they fighting on the little immediate little rock. Miles get a hold of that. Nah, low-key, even before that, Venom kicked Miles down to this like after the whole fight against, like, this like the, what I'm talking about is the QTE, like where you just kind of like press and square the whale on his ass, right? But before this, you play as Peter to fight Venom one time, and then you play as Miles after that to fight him. So you play as both of them to fight them, not together but separate, at separate points. So yeah, like I said, Miles and Peter follow his ass into the air because he fly up in the air with the little meteor rock or whatever. Bro, he knocked Miles down. Miles he falling. He land on the helicopter, make his way back up though. But while he falling, Peter just wailing on his ass. Mean, giving his ass the business. Then he fuck up. He start to falling. Or no, then it cut to Miles. We see Miles just creeping on the helicopter. He like, I'm finna get this nigga. Then he jumped. He grabbed the rock. Peter like, go Miles, go. He got the rock. They trying to destroy it. MJ down in the little like the little lab, trying to get the machine started so they could destroy the rock and get in all this shit for once and for all. Bro, Miles put that bitch. He flying down. Venom catch him. He turn around. He kick Venom in his mouth. Booka. He started wailing on the both of them. You at this point you pressing square again. Like I said, you was doing it with Peter at first, but now you doing it controlling Peter and Miles, just wailing on this nigga. I'm talking dirty, putting him in dirt, putting him in work type shit. Mean, doing him filthy. I'm like, what? Bro, they were jumping his ass, bro. And this is all mid-air, bro. I'm talking they was on his shoulders. They on top of this nigga body. Because you know Venom big as hell, bro. He bigger than both of them. To the point where, like, they could just crawl on his ass. So they on top of this nigga, just wailing on him. Mean. Knocking him all in his chin, all that other shit. They beating the shit out of him mid-air. Then they hit his ass with this combination punch. Miles make his way back down to the lab or whatever, and they finna get ready to destroy the rocket, right? Bro, whole time I was playing that part, I'm like, gee, ain't no way in hell I'm wailing on his ass and Miles not finna get him some too. I'm like, bro, ain't no way they finna end this game and me and Miles not jumping him. not jumping Venom, bro. We just fought him. Ain't no way we not finna jump this man at the same time. So I was so happy when I seen Miles turned around and started wailing on that nigga with Peter, bro. I was like, man, that's what I wanted the most. I wanted to see both of them just get real nasty on this nigga, like just fuck him up the worst way. So I was so happy when that part happened, bro. When they just started really doing this, that shit was so raw. But after they jumped Venom, they destroyed the rock the symbiote came from. Venom disappeared. All the symbiotes, not all the symbiotes in the city, but you know, a good majority of them disappeared. This game, towards the end, definitely reminded me of Web of Shadows because of how he took over the city. There were like black tendrils coming out of buildings and all that other stuff, just like Web of Shadows. So that shit was raw. There were like people turning into symbiotes all over the cities, just like Web of Shadows. That shit was raw. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I really had to say about the story. I know that was a lot. That was 20 minutes worth of me just talking about straight story. But bro, y'all gotta understand that shit was so raw. And they closed all of that in 15 hours, bro. Bro, I beat the game twice. 100% in both save files. First time I beat it was on Spectacular. Second time was on Ultimate because I unlocked the Ultimate difficulty after I beat the game. I'm on my third playthrough now, and I'm about to 100% it again on Ultimate. I'm going to keep doing it for another 3 more times. I'm just doing this because I'm waiting on New Game Plus, bro. Alright, that story. Fuck, I think I'm done talking about it. It's so much and it's so raw. Alright. Now, we on gameplay. I talked about story first because obviously that was probably gonna be my longest one. I could probably like knock out these other topics real quick. Gameplay, y'all. Gameplay was super fucking great. Definitely a big improvement compared to the first game in Miles Morales. A really big improvement, actually. Like very huge improvement. In my personal opinion, I know a lot of people were upset that they took away suit powers because in the previous game, like the first Marvel Spider-Man, when you play as Peter, we had suit powers, like suit abilities. Each one of his suits had a different abilities. In this game, they're more so just cosmetics now. They don't come with their own like special suit abilities, but in previous games, they had their own abilities. Like Web Blossom, Spider Bro, if you were wearing the Homecoming suit, Tom Holland Homecoming suit. You know, just different little abilities. I can't remember all of them, but those were like the ones I used the most. Web Blossom and Spider Bro. But suit abilities got replaced in this game with just special moves that your character do in general. So like, or like, how can I put, like Peter gets like a symbiote install when you click L3 and R3. He puts the symbiote around his body, and it's like a little rage mode. So you just start one-shotting motherfuckers, like finishers all around. Whoever you hitting, he just do a finisher on them. That shit is raw as hell. For Miles, it's his little it's his Venom explosion, like when he, like, you know, basically turns himself into like a big ass bomb, electric bomb, and he just explodes. So that's his. We had that in his game. He had that, but the one that really changed the most I will say this, the one who changed the most gameplay wise in this game is Peter. He had the biggest and most like noticeable changes. Miles, he was different because he had his blue lightning, but that was probably the only difference with him was the blue lightning. But Peter, he had the spider arms, the symbiote, he had a rage mode. What else did he have? They improved on his swinging. Peter, I honestly, in this game, I play Peter a lot more than I do Miles, but obviously, right, because he has the symbiote. Like, who's not gonna choose the symbiote over electricity? Well, you know what? No, because could be a lot of people out there that's choosing the electricity over the symbiote, but I personally like the symbiote more than electricity. What else? Miles not really all that different. He pretty much the same how he was in his own game. Even like his air tricks and all of that, they're all pretty much the same. Peter's the one that really changed the most if we're talking gameplay wise between the two. So I personally had a lot more fun playing as Peter than Miles, but obviously that's just my opinion. A lot of people could have different opinions. As far as costumes, I like this line of costumes more than the other previous Spider-Man games, me personally, because it has some of my favorites. I know a lot of people missing their favorite costumes in this game, but it had all of mine. I ain't gonna lie. So I was pretty satisfied on both Miles and Peter part. What else? I think that's pretty much all I really want to say about gameplay. They really improved on Peter a lot, like a lot. Swinging, all of that. Like cause you could see the difference. Like with the first Marvel Spider-Man, he was like bare bones. He was pretty boring compared to Miles and his game. But then they upped Peter so much, so him and Miles are like neck to neck now in this game. Like I said, I personally like Peter a bit more because of the symbiote, but you know, that's just my personal opinion. Gameplay, fucking fantastic. Story of 10, gameplay of 10. What else? I guess I could talk about the little things that they missed out on, I guess. I mentioned this before. I wish we would have seen Kraven kill off the other Spider-Man villains. I personally did run into some glitches. There were some glitches in this game that really bothered, or I wouldn't even say, it didn't even bother me, bro, because if like I got crashes, I didn't really get like in-game glitches. The most that would happen to me is like the game would crash. So after the game would crash, I was like, oh, okay, fuck it, I'm finna start it up again. I just started that bitch right back up and keep going. So the crashes suck, but they didn't bother me because I was blinded by my excitement for the game in general. I don't even say blinded. It's just, yeah, they just didn't bother me. So I was like, fuck it. So yeah, the crash. So I had a lot of game crashes, but it was whatever at the end of the day for me personally. What else? Is that it? Is that all I had to really say? I feel like that's it, y'all. Like, I can't really speak on nothing else. I'm gonna make a separate video talking about yeah, so my only two issues were the glitches or the game crashes, because I ain't run into too many glitches. So the crashes and what was the other one I said, y'all? Oh, we didn't get to see the other villains get killed off by Kraven. We only saw one get killed off. Other than that, though, I think there's probably little stuff I could say, but they aren't really issues. Because like I said, okay, let me put it like this. These things, like if I were to bring these things up, it wouldn't really be my opinion, because these are things I saw after I beat the game twice and I hopped on Twitter or just social media in general, and I seen other people putting these things out. But in my own personal playthroughs of this game, going through it twice, 100% it twice in a row, I didn't think these things, not one time. These things didn't bother me. They still don't bother me. But when I got on social media and I saw other people's opinions, I was like, whoa. I didn't know so many people felt this way about it. Like, I honestly felt like I was going through the game perfectly fine. No type of regrets, no negativities, nothing. But like I said, y'all, that could also have a lot to do with my bias, me being a Spider-Man fan. But I'm going to end the video off right here, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I will be making a video about New Game Plus later on, and why do I think it's going to take them so long to add it. And I will be making a video about the DLCs. But I'm going to end the video off right here. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I've already said that I'm fucking stupid. I'm out this bitch, and I will see y'all in the next one.
Know that the numbers go like 1, 2, greed. Thank you for being a GreedHD, nigga.